You're listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Starts now.
Hey, what's up, and welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show, here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. I'm your host, Nate. We have a guest today, Mr. Pompey. He is a photographer, a videographer, a filmmaker now. He'll be talking about a series, I believe a web series he has coming up now. And we'll be getting to talk a little bit about who he is. I asked him to come on today because I've been trying to get him on the show for a long time now, and he's Mr. Busy. He teaches photography to young people, and he has a book out, project he did, I believe last year or year before last, with a group of young people who have been learning photography, but also the art of storytelling through their photography, and he'll be talking a little bit about that. But the first weekend of Pearly is over, and I'm starting to get back some rest. I slept nearly all morning until it was almost time for me to get here, and we got to meet Miss Melba Moore this weekend, a phenomenal person who shared her talents with us. We got like a mini concert, and we got to meet and greet with her and talk to her. And she shared her new album with us, The Day I Turned to You. This is her gospel album, and it's really a good album. I haven't really listened to any music, like a whole entire body of work lately, because we've been in rehearsal mode. But this is really actually, and I don't normally say that, but unless I mean it, but this is actually a really good body of work. And actually, she performed at our opening night on Friday, and she was awarded several awards that night by the Arena Playhouse and our director, Mr. Troy Burton and Mesa. They gave her a special honor as well. So we have 2 more weekends to go. So if you're not busy, if you have some time, please come out and join us. Share your time, share your energy with us. And we have 2 shows on Saturday, 1 show on Friday, 2 shows on Saturday, and 1 show on Sunday. This Saturday, the 22nd, for the 8 p.m. show, the Artist Exchange is actually sponsoring that show, which means we need you all to come on out, support the Artist Exchange, support myself. I'm actually in the show, and support my great cast, and our director and our techs and Arena Playhouse. Come on out on this 22nd. There are 7 other dates, but on the 22nd at 8 o'clock, we're actually sponsoring, the Artist Exchange is sponsoring that show. So I want you all to come on out in droves, get your tickets. If you go to the Artist Exchange page, you can find the information that's on there. And I want to welcome you to that night. But if you can't make it on the 22nd at 8 o'clock, there's a 3 o'clock show that day. We have one on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then the following week, we also have our last weekend, and we have 4 shows on that day. So I would like for you all to come out on the 22nd to show your love and support for the Artist Exchange radio show and Be Exposed Radio. But if you're not able to come, I do understand, but I really want you to come on and show us some love. So today's topic is do something great for you. And this last couple months in preparing for the show has really shown me a lot about myself and what I'm willing to take, what I'm not willing to take, getting out my own way, finding a new way to express any frustration that I'm having, learning how to be more direct, learning how to get the business in order. And for this show, I've really learned a lot of those lessons hands-on, straightforward, and it really has shown me just my inner strength, and I don't have to always articulate what I'm thinking. That was a big lesson. Just follow your path and do what it is that you're here to do. And I believe this is one of the best shows. I've had quite a few that I'm proud of, but this one right here, my work that I put into just the preparation and just in me as a general artist and a person, I think I've seen the fruits of all that work that I've put in. Special shout out to Miss Chastity. Hopefully she comes by and joins us. But she was a real MVP this weekend. I am selling my jewelry along with being in the play, and the person that I hired did not show up. And shout out to Chastity and Tara for showing up this weekend and manning the table while I was doing what I do. So with that being said, today's topic, like I said, is do something great for you. And throughout the process of doing this show, the Artist Exchange, and all the work that I do in terms of teaching, curating, and I work at a museum, and I help a lot of artists kind of build themselves up. I work here at the station. A lot of what I do, we normally work within our passion, but it's not to say that we can't work for another company or we can't work with someone else, but you have to have ownership in what you're doing. Even if you're working with somebody on their project, you have to take ownership of what it is that you're putting forth and what you're adding to that. And that's getting contracts signed and getting agreements, all those things in order. So what you are contributing doesn't become a part of somebody else's resume. And for me, it's not about so much somebody else taking credit, but people are taking credit for your work, knowingly taking credit for your work. So if people aren't willing to sign contracts and agreements with you, that ain't the place for you. And that's, when we sign on, HR has us sign this long, lengthy contract. Read that contract and realize the things that you're giving up by working there at that place. Often, especially in many art organizations, it is written in many of the contracts that we sign with them that the nuances that we bring, that we create, any processes that we create, any ways of doing things belong to the company. And I realized even in me signing on as a teaching artist, any new way that I've learned to teach what I do that would have belonged to the organization that I work with, the school that I work with, and I for the first time I read through the contracts and I took that to the powers that be and said I'm not comfortable with you owning something that I created. And as artists, as entrepreneurs, as just people in general, even if you're working in a 9-to-5, read your contracts. And often, if you present it to your company, sometimes they'll change it, and often they won't. And when they won't, you have to be strong enough to either take it or walk away from it. And I'm at a place right now where I'm walking away from things that do not fit me, do not speak for me, do not fit within my mission as an artist. I'm doing, creating a lot of things and recreating a lot of things that I've already worked on and some new things in the next year or so. And I'm not willing to work with anybody that does not want to sign an agreement. People get away with taking labor from people and taking talents and gifts from people and not paying them at all most times, or paying them appropriately. And often, and that's not to say you can't work for free, but not working for money does not mean that you're not gaining something else out of that job. You have to be learning something that is viable and valuable to what it is that you want to do, or you should not be doing it anymore. You should not be working for no money. It ain't about working for free, but it's about working smart. And if you're not getting the education out of it, or a paycheck out of it, or some type of arrangement or agreement out of it, then you should not be there. I'm telling you, you're getting cheated, you're cheating yourself, you're being cheated by others, and they're going to be fine with it. You need to figure out what it is that you want to do and really put it in writing. And start with writing your artist statement if you're an artist, or writing out a mission statement. Even if you're a 9-to-5 person, you should have a goal. What is the why? What is your why? Why are you there? What do you look to get out of this? Most 9-to-5 jobs, you should not be there if it's not a career for longer than maybe 4 or 5 years. Enough time for you to have learned processes and ways to do things, and you're moving on to the next job where you learn more, or you can dig deeper into what you've actually learned. And then eventually your goal should be owning your own, or creating your own way of doing what it is that you're contributing and you're getting. But in that exchange, outside of a paycheck, of course, you should be getting something in education, or like I said, the processes or the ways of doing things, whether it's how to write a contract, or how to do customer service, or how payroll works, or so on and so forth. Because not everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur, but everybody has a career that they aspire to be a part of. And you shouldn't be working a job just for money. It should be something within that job or that workplace that is feeding you for what's next in your life. And there's nothing wrong with staying at a company for 40, 50 years, but that company should be investing in you in the process of it. So I'm going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
This is a Poverty ENT exclusive. Next stop, Texaco. Strapped up, you already know. Fuck niggas hate, that's how it goes. Bros with me, yeah, it's time to go.
Oh, are you in front of the building? You can park right on the side of the building where I said you come in at. Right in, as soon as you turn, you can park right there.
I think somebody about to move, so I'm trying to hurry this spot.
Okay.
Know your man telling and you roll with him. Find out that you jealous, you a whole nigga. Chose by another nigga, bitch, damn. This chopper got 50 round clip. So this Molly and the syrup got me geeking, shorty. Ain't know I popped them Xannies, had them sleeping on me. Love in a hood full of hate. Pray to God that he open up them gates. Rest in peace to Freddie Gray and Lil Scooter. Putting on for our city, watch his door.
Next stop, Texaco. Strapped up, you already know. Fuck niggas hate, that's how it goes. Bros with me, yeah, it's time to go. Got my mind strong, take a time bomb. Fuck a pot, I'd rather pat the kitty. I don't want the city, don't call me Diddy. Yeah, I rap my city, way to show them something they ain't ready for. Nigga voice firm so you can't ignore it. Talking shit like I'm fixing toilets. Shag a rhythm, I can see me torn. Torn cuffs, shades on, shirt off, strapped up, Molly down, blowing strong, riding around. The demonstration hold 50 rounds. I'm a fool with it. Got ratchet niggas that's cool with it. You got a cold heart till that ooh hit it. Stop fucking with me. Got my mind set. See my mind state is at a high rate. Next stop, Texaco. Strapped up, you already know. Fuck niggas hate, that's how it goes. Bros with me, yeah. It's time to go.
Listen to this flashback of Skyline Radio Show.
So where we at? Where we talk about the effects and what's going on in these schools?
Yeah.
And what people don't understand. Just real briefly, I just want to talk a little bit about what people say bullying is or is not. So bullying comes in many forms. It's a teasing, it's the cyberbullying, it's the texting, it's the phone calls, it's the posting of pictures and people's personal information to pretty much cause them harm, to have them feel insecure. It's the sex assaults that people actually put out there. There are physical assaults, and there are mental assaults and emotional assaults. And what I like to remind individuals that any aggressive behavior towards anyone that is unwanted and unwarranted, and an individual asks you to stop. Let's stop there. Stop.
And they should be respecting that.
Respecting that and respecting yourself, because when you're able to respect another person, you're able to respect yourself. And the way that you're able to show that respect is that you know that you have a gift and you know you're uniquely made and that you matter, and then you also acknowledge that the next person beside you matters as well.
Right.
You know, and we lose that sometimes. Bullying is a behavior that underestimates the lives and legacy of you. I'm sure that when they was bullying me, and I'm sure when they was bullying you, they didn't understand who you're going to become later on. I didn't know.
Right, because I'm popping. I can't All right, let me tell you, all those people who felt like they wanted to say whatever to me, look at me now. It's like, no, y'all don't understand, but I've been through some things, okay?
And you know what? No. I applaud you and I salute you, because a lot of times we do not take the time to say, I'm okay, and I'm okay with me, and there's nothing wrong with me, and I'm amazing, and I'm blessed, and I'm strong, and I matter.
Join us every Wednesday at 7 p.m. for Skyline Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, what's up, and welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. If you are looking for a space or a home for your show, or if you are thinking about starting a show, or if you have thought about starting a show and you're uncertain to how to start doing that, please hit us up at info@BeExposedRadio.com and say, Nate, I want a show, and I'll be glad to be helpful to you in starting a new show. We have a couple new shows coming up soon, so please stay tuned in for that. I am here to help people start shows, learn how to get into the process of hosting their own shows. So please stay tuned, stay locked in for that. Also, if you are looking for some opportunities in the area of the arts, or being interviewed, or helping or needing help in marketing and branding yourself, I'm here also to do that. I help artists to reorganize their social media, brand themselves in terms of creating a artist statement and learning how to create a whole lineup of interviews and media partnerships. So if you need that help in marketing what it is that you're doing, even if you're not an artist, I'm here to help support you in doing that. So please stay tuned, stay locked in for that. you can send me a message at the Artist Exchange Radio Show at gmail.com, and I'll be able to give you some more information in the area of marketing and branding. And if you don't realize it, I am the designer for VashtiBlue jewelry. If you come to the Pearly show, you'll be able to see a little bit of what I do in person, or you can go to our website at www.VashtiBlue, that's VashtiBlue.com, and you'll be able to see a lot of what we do, and we'll be adding on more stuff. But right now it's just me. I'm actually in the process of hiring a few people to help me with the selling portion of it and the making portion of it. So if you want to learn how to make jewelry, come on. But you got to be a good seller, you got to be a team player, and you got to be reliable. But more with the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Let me check the time real quick. 5:26. Our first guest, our guest for the day, Mr. Kyle Pompey, will be joining us shortly, and we'll be talking a lot about who he is and what he's been doing. I met him a number of years ago at his studio through a mutual friend, and I really thoroughly enjoyed his photography. I got to see him in a bunch of different locations, and he's now working a lot more with the youth and the community and building some projects outside of his own photography. So we'll get to know him a little bit more. Next week, we'll be interviewing a number of young artists with our friend Miss Patricia Johnson. She's been working a lot more with the young writers lately, so we'll get to talk to her and I think about 3 of her young authors. And then the week following that, we'll actually have a young chef on, so definitely stay tuned, stay locked in for all that's coming up. And then that's actually going into March. In March, we have a number of more activists and a few artists, and we'll have a couple more of our actors that we did not get a chance to interview at the beginning in January. So the Artist Exchange is forever going, forever flowing. We have a number of events that we'll be working on this year. I'll be starting my book. I'm actually starting the process of the book now, so that should be finished by the end of the year. A number of shows that I am working with as well. The dates for that, I'm gonna wait till we get some more solidified dates. And don't forget our illustrious director, Mr. Troy Burton. He'll be doing the Real Nigga Show, which he actually started the process for, so you'll start seeing more advertisement for that rolling out with his company, with Troy Burton's company starting soon. So that play comes up in June. So it's a lot going on in Baltimore and in the world of arts. So again, we're going to take another quick commercial break. We'll be right back here with the Artist Exchange Radio Show only on BeExposedRadio.com. Don't go anywhere.
It is what it is. Radio show.
Yeah, go ahead. All right, listen. All right, say situation. Cause I keep telling y'all, it's different situations in the child support thing. You can't just pinpoint one thing. You can't just say, "Oh, here did be. That's why you're on child support. Oh, he this. That's why you're on child support. Oh, she this. That's why she on child support." No, sometimes it could just go off of, "Oh, I just called him and asked him, can he pay for the pictures? He ain't want to pay for the pictures. I'm taking his ass downtown." Yup.
Well, you got to know. Know who you dating.
Hold up.
You just like
I just called her. I just called her and asked could she just get Junior some shoes. She couldn't even get him no church shoes. I'm taking her ass downtown. Now, when you go downtown, you go down there and you get $500. Right. Now you mad because you getting $500, and now you really ain't getting no shoes for Junior or Lord CC because you getting $500 now. Right.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, if you're a good father or a good mother, and you paying child support, right? You still gonna go ahead and do all that because
hold up.
It's just what it is.
Hold on, and that's another situation.
Right.
But you know what that creates? Now when we at the party, Mommy and Daddy ain't even down there speaking to each other. Cause Daddy done paid for the party, and he done came out of pocket this month with $600.
So what he mad though? Why he mad
right,
though?
that's your child.
He shouldn't be mad.
Listen. He shouldn't be mad, but he also has another child with his wife.
That's on him.
Okay,
go ahead.
He got another child with his wife.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're
with
taking
his wife
and you're taking away from him.
And they taking away
and you're taking away from
Well, he should have kept it in his pants.
Exactly.
Should have kept it in his pants. Stop complaining. Stop complaining. Stop complaining.
You on some whole, he on some whole other shit over here. He on some whole other shit. I'm gonna tell him.
White keys only have this bitch jumping.
Okay. If I sit around, hold up. Look. If I sit around, hold up. Yeah. Rebel. If I sit around, I'ma smoke some more. Wasn't even thinking about smoke before, but I'm in my head and I'm in the bed. Don't know who I am, like I'm wearing a mask. Working mode, tell him where the cash. If you wear the cash, tell him where the cash. If you playing for you, gon' run it back. Don't make promises, but I promise that. Don't promise me, cause I ain't into that. Fell in love with that and got hurt from that. Now it's all over and the curtains back. Can't see you not noticing that. I'm letting it go, it ain't holding me back. Yeah, I'm on dice, but ain't come for the crack. Drinking with uncle, we only do jack. How I'm alive, I thank God for that. Praying about it, things getting better. Open it up with my name on the letter. Why you crazy about it? Saying whatever, you shy to be you. You know you gotta be you. Sometimes I need privacy too. Yeah, you know I ride. You know I ride, and you know you ride for me too. Yeah, you know I. Look, you like getting that hit for real. When it's me and Murray, just us, we chill. I'm in a rush to get off to get you. Never ever had to floss to get you. Pay the dues that it cost to kiss you. Rug burns on the carpet with you. Oh yeah. Come on, dog, throw this in there. Had to dedicate this to the homie out of New Orleans. Break. Said she wanna bump that. Come on, do it. Go ahead, do it. If I sit around.
Thank you very much.
Because they had nothing else to do.
So it was like, imagine that your late husband was actually your father. I can't imagine that because that's disgusting.
Very much so.
And then I would have to clean my basement because that's where my actual father resides right now. So, okay. The 60-year-old woman learned the truth about her husband, Percy, 6 years after he passed away.
Not Percy, though. Percy doesn't sound like that name.
Percy just sounds like a feminine boy.
Really?
Yeah.
But nobody told you at no point.
Like Percy, look at Percy over there with his purse.
Oh, his name Percy.
Percy always switching.
And you just keep laughing at him.
That's a joke. What do you call it? What's the gay boy's name?
Percy.
Percy.
What are you doing, Percy? I don't even know what to say about this one. And I'm the one that said it. Oh my gosh, we're here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. The conversations can get deep. They can get out of this world. But we do them. BeExposedRadio.com. Talk Lately, the radio show.
First they love you, then desert you. Leave with a plate full with no spoon. Ain't no space, I can't escape negativity. I got used to the taste. I've been bad, burned and fucked over. But remain strong through the past over. Kicking haters out of the way like masked over. Roll up, sip something, let it pass over. Who would I be? It ain't the man to me to let the next man take advantage of me. When that storm come, no pen I see. Get with it, not without it, then you'll see.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show. We're on camera number 3. Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show. I'm your host, Nate. We have 2 new guests in. Got a surprise guest in. Can y'all gentlemen introduce yourselves?
I'm Kyle.
And I'm Tavon.
Mr. Photographer, and you are a
little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. A Baltimore artist. That's basically
Jack of all trades.
So, first of all, Kyle, can you introduce yourself? Let us know who you are. If they've been hiding under a rock all these years.
Yeah, well, I'm a photographer, as Nate said. I'm a teacher. I'm a mentor, I'm a father, I'm a husband.
Hard-working man.
Yeah,
So
I'm an author. Did I say that?
A new author.
Yes.
So are you working on a second book now?
I am.
Okay.
I am. It's gonna be like a biography about how photography changed my life.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about how you became a photographer without giving away the second book?
Yeah. I got into photography because like I have a fascination with birds of prey, right?
Okay.
And I used to drive out Eastern Shore for a liquor company, and I saw an eagle once. And I had the same route, so I figured I might see it again. So I bought a camera from my friend. And I don't even think I even got that shot. But I told one of my homegirls that I bought the camera, and one of her friends needed somebody to take pictures for their party. And she was like, well, my friend just bought a camera, he a photographer. Like, mind you, I haven't taken one shot with this camera yet. She's telling people I'm a photographer, but
a Baltimore artist, that's what happened.
Right, you know, you just gotta jump out there. You know what I mean?
there.
And that's what I did. So I did the event. You know, it started out rough, but I made it through. I persevered. You know, I'm using my teaching words. You know, and you know, it snowballed into this. So you know, everything that I'm doing right now.
So now, but you're working with children. How does that affect your photography or enhance it, or?
It doesn't really affect it because like I'm always gonna be a photographer. I'm always gonna have to do work.
Right.
You know, and what I would say is like they keep me going. You know, it's like I was talking to somebody today. If you ever play Sonic, you know how he's fast already, right? But it's that one point where he hit it and he's like,
right,
you know what I mean? Like, and the kids give me that little burst of energy that I need to keep going, you know, to make it to my goals.
And if I'm not mistaken, your first book was kind of inspired by your work with young people.
Yep, exactly.
So tell us a little bit about the first book.
All right, a teacher named Carrie Graham from Patterson High School. She wanted to use my pictures to help her ESOL students with their sensory language. So she invited me in one day, and she used one of the pictures that I have of a house that had "Rest in Peace Keith" all over it, right? And like the ESOL students, which is English as a second language, they were like, "Why did they mess up the house like that?" Right? Right? And then the American students were like, "You know, they didn't mess it up. That's just how we show love to people who died." Right? And I was like, "Wow!" Like both of them are right. You know, like technically it is vandalism, but culturally, that's how we show love to the people who passed away. So I thought that was interesting, and selfishly, I wanted to see more of that. And I also, you know, people was like, you know, you should do a book, but I didn't want to just do a picture book. That's so cliche, you know. So I decided to use pictures to encourage writing, you know, and it's going really well.
And the process of doing that, how difficult? Because you were used to being behind the camera for a number of years. Now you are author and you're working with children all at the same time, and that's totally new to you.
It's challenging. It's challenging, right? But you know, I always say that, you know, without challenge, life is boring. You know, you know, you can't level up unless you challenge yourself. So. I'm just, whatever comes my way, I feel like I gotta try to knock it down, you know. And if I fail, hey, you know.
But it's a little bit different and challenging when you're working with young people because you have this passion, and your assumption is that they gonna want to learn what it is that you're doing, and that's not always the truth. And they normally put people in the class that are challenging. But how are you dealing with that? Because you are a father yourself.
Yes.
So how are you? It's one if you have one or two of your own, but now a classroom full of them. That's not yours.
That made me really anxious, right? Because up until I started teaching at Lily May.
Oh, the cool Pompey cow just floated away?
Man, I had to maintain. Because if you don't, they gonna see that. They gonna be like, you know what I mean? Yeah, but up until then, I only taught kids that was interested in photography.
Okay.
You know, so I had to kind of make it universally interesting. You know what I mean?
And you're working with ESOL students who are learning the language at the same time.
Well, no, I'm not.
Okay.
At Patterson.
Oh, okay. So that was introductory.
It's 99%, you know, black girls at my school. But Yeah, like, you know, you just got to make the class interesting, and you know, I'm free. You know, like, you know, as long as you're not disrespecting yourself or each other and getting the work done, you know, I want you to have fun. You know, that's
you
what
had
life is
them
about.
out in the community. What did you learn anything different about your community now, seeing it through the eyes of the young people?
What I saw was that it's a lot of things happening and becoming normal that shouldn't.
Right.
And because you know you're going through it, you're being normalized to it in a progressive way, right? It's in a very progressive way. But when you see kids not being affected by it, it's like, wow, like something's got to give. You know?
Especially when you've seen it and you've become normalized to it, and you like they're already at the point where you are now.
Right.
So what is your solution for something like that?
Just to invest in the youth. I mean, it sounds so cliche to say that like they're the future, but once we're gone, they're literally gonna be the ones up next. You know, so like if they only know right, then they'll only do right.
And I just told my principal it's going to take more than just infusing the day with artists. Like you have to totally change how you approach. And a lot of this stuff is working, but a lot of it is psychologists playing with ideas that they're having.
Yeah.
And it has to go beyond because it has to become a way of life. And if they leave that school building and they're not getting that reinforcement at home, every day you're having to restart them from where you need them to be. And it becomes an everyday thing and you're not really moving anywhere.
And it's interesting that you say that. I didn't know the effect that the book was going to have when I came up with it, right? Teachers were teaching it before I became a teacher and started using it myself. So like, you know, they'll tell me how it's working, but you don't really get the full picture when somebody's telling you. But now that I'm actually using it, it's so much that I'm learning about them just by showing them images that they're used to seeing and having them use their imagination or write how it makes them feel. Like they'll often speak realistically about what's happening with themselves.
Did you see your work as, because I know you did a lot more events and private shoots, but did you see your work being able to get to like an installation level or a book form?
I'm telling you, my friends like him, like people, my wife, like pushed me to do like exhibits and to like even just use my pictures for anything. Like I just love capturing the moment. You know, like I don't have time to think about what I'm going to do with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like,
That's the artist.
Right. You know what I mean? But, you know, they kind of like, you know, like they should, were in my ear, like, do this, do this, do this, do this. And like I said, I love a challenge. All right, bet I'm going to do it. And things just start, you know.
But you, in my opinion, when I first met you, you were already at that place. I just don't think you saw it.
I didn't.
Because you were exploring, like,
people would tell me that all the time, but it's not about how people feel you are or where you are. You have to feel that you are in that place to do it. Like, well, I know I do. There's people out here that claim to do a lot. Right?
Yeah.
But me personally, if I'm saying that I'm doing something or if I'm going to put myself on some level, I have to feel it in my heart that I am there too. You know, or I'm going to feel like I'm faking.
So where you at today?
I'm successful. You know, I'm thankful for, you know, all the opportunities that I'm getting right now. But I don't think I'm the best. I think I'm super consistent, and I think I hold a lot of the qualities that I need to remain successful.
So now you're in this new realm of artistry. You're not just trying new techniques out and getting new cameras and learning how to use them, but now you're affecting like tomorrow, because these young people, I've seen a lot of your students, and they're really learning something that they did not have before. So now they have a tool, and they're seeing you and Devin Allen and a number of these other creative activists really using
that look like them.
Right. That's the most significant part. We have to see that imagery.
Yes.
So are you thinking more about your city in terms of what you can do to help it now versus I'm just gonna come to your party, make your pictures look slamming.
What, man? My 100% of my mission is to make Baltimore better, and I can only do it in the way that I know, and that's through photography.
Right.
You know, I can hoop, but I don't know how I can make Baltimore better shooting jumpers. You know, but like Will Barton, he does. You know, and that's his lane. So my lane is photography, and you know, through these kids who are the future, they can really make a difference. Once they realize that they have a voice and that we hear it and that, you know, it's making change and effect, like, it's nothing that we can do to stop them from doing what they feel like they need to do.
So in terms of now you're banning, so parents normally see the school system as one thing, but when you are in it, you see it totally different. How does that affect how you raise your children?
Well, my children are 20, 15, and 14.
Okay.
So, you know, they pretty much know how the school system is. They're not, you know, they know what's going on. Now, my 3-year-old little godson, like when he gets in school, then, you know, maybe I'll have more of insight on how he should carry it. You know, like I used to go to my kids' schools, but I wasn't, like you said, I wasn't in it. So you don't see the day to day. You know, but I think everything is character building. Like, I don't try to interrupt as long as they're not being harmed. You know, I don't want to interrupt anything, the flow of life. Like, you know, you got to go through stuff.
Because a lot of times I'm telling parents what questions to ask or what resources are available or what they should be inputting in. Like, what happens when a child is released back to the parents at the end of the day? What becomes their job, educational-wise and creatively? And a lot of parents didn't realize that they had to follow up with what they got during the day.
I also think that after school programs are important. You know, I know people talk about it all the time. Rec centers are very, like, I got all of my sports knowledge through rec.
Right.
I mean, like, we had everything from Skelly to soccer. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's very important. You know.
So let's take another quick commercial break. Let's pay some bills. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on
You're like an internal bleeder. Can't see your pain, but it can silently kill ya. So deeply wounded, but don't say a thing. Too afraid of what the people may say or think. So you just sit there and you suffer in silence. Your pride won't let you just uncover your secret. Don't wanna look weak in your image, it ain't worth losing. So you just act as if it's nothing happening. God sees you, and God hears you. Yes, God loves you. You're like an internal bleeder. Can't see your pain, but it can silently kill ya. Suicidal, depressed, but you won't say a thing. Too afraid of what the people may say or think. You feel alone even though the people surround you. Popping pills every night even though you know they can't solve it. The emotional pain, it just seems way too heavy. Your mind is racing, wanna scream, somebody help me. God sees you, and God hears you. Yes, God loves you. These type of people sit right under our noses. We don't find out till we're on IG scrolling. We post a few memes, but then it keeps on happening. Something's gotta change, we gotta start talking and telling the truth without the fear of judgment. Gotta come together and really start loving and heal these people cause they slowly dying. Help them believe that their life is worth living. God sees you, and God hears you. Yes, God loves you. I pray there's an end to this suicide demon. We losing people too soon, they cutting and bleeding. They think no one.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Time. Can you say hello, Bush?
What's up, y'all? Tavon. I write.
Okay.
Just assisting my homeboy, just coming for more support,
So you're working on the Paid in Full web series. Can you tell us about that?
Well, the Paid in Full garage show, it's kind of like West Coast Customs meet The Wire. We fix up classic vintage cars of the 80s era mostly, and just is a lot of trials and tribulations. There's a lot of stuff that goes on when you're fixing up those type of cars. And we both have lives, like he said, he's a husband, and he has kids, like I have a kid. And it's a lot of stuff and responsibilities that you have at your house. And you're trying to do this car and investing, that's a big thing. So it's a lot of stuff that goes on.
So are y'all into cars, or this was just a brainchild that y'all kind of came up with?
Well, he's my barber too.
Okay.
So
Oh, and you're a barber, sir?
Yeah, you know how it is. You get your hair cut, and you just come over. So he bought an old school Legend first, right? And then he sold that and got an old school Z.
Okay.
And when he got that, it was like, yo, that joint is tough, right? And
you fix them up yourself?
Well, I kind of got it, and as you go along, and you have so many problems. When you have hoopies, you have so many problems with cars. You kind of know cars. Oh, that's that problem. So that's how it kind of started, and I kind of tried to talk him into getting one. I would send him cars, and he like, no, I got a lot going on. And then I sent him one day that really sparked his interest. My mechanic had one, and the rest is kind of history.
So what's the premise of the show? I know you kind of gave us some research points, but what's the premise of it? Are you interviewing people, or is it always your car, or are you bringing other people's cars in? Or?
Well, people are buying cars.
Okay.
So sometimes people will call with a budget, and we'll get their budget in, and we'll try to fix a car and try to make some money on top of it. And so as the episodes go on, you'll see sometimes a wife maybe want to surprise the husband, or we give away cars. There's a lot of different things that's going to go on with the episodes as they go along.
And the backdrop is Baltimore.
Backdrop.
No. Well, no. The first episode, the backdrop was Baltimore, but it could be anywhere.
Okay. Yeah. That's what's up. So how long has this been an idea? How long did it take you to kind of get it up on its feet?
Maybe like 4 months. It hasn't been that long. Like I do videography. So if we can take an idea and turn it into something
Is it a launch date easy. Or a premiere date?
Launch date probably, I think we need maybe like another month and a half. So right now we're dropping trailers, like you've seen, and
just piquing interest.
Okay.
Saying we've been getting some really good feedback so far.
I didn't know Baltimore was a car city until I went with a friend up in Drew Hill Park, and they were kind of showing off their cars.
On Sundays.
Yep. So I didn't know it was that, it had gotten to that level of it.
Yeah, even like on Northern Parkway and Wabash, they have like the little car get-ups. And we just recently found out that they have Z meetups every other week somewhere. So it's, cars, people love cars all over the place.
So what else are we looking forward to from Mr. Kyle Pompey?
Well, I just started a nonprofit so that, did you know that I did a summer camp, a free summer camp for kids?
I didn't know that.
So for the last 2 years, I've been doing a free summer camp.
Okay.
It's a 5-week program where I teach, the functions of the camera, techniques. Teach them about different parts of the city that they might not know about, and like give them real life photography experience, right? I wanted to do that all year round, so I started a nonprofit. It's called Nice Shot Media House, Inc.
Okay.
Right, and I say house because I want the youth to feel like it's a home. I want them to feel safe. You know, I want them to take care of it like it's a home. You know, I was raised by a village. You know, people who I was related to and not. You know, and it's all the same. You know, so I'm trying to create that environment for the youth that that I'm serving on the photography.
What's some of the what? Because often I think we had a different childhood. It was a different Baltimore at that time. It was a different space. But some of the young people here, so now everything is about a smartphone. And so how are you getting them from this all day long to learning kind of the techniques of photography and some of the things that are connected to being a photographer or videographer?
And I just thought about this. Blogging, like YouTube is real heavy and in the younger demographic, and they know that that these bloggers aren't walking around blogging with these, so they do understand that these are very limited to what they can do. And if they have an interest in photography, they're gonna want to learn how to use another medium.
Is that difficult, kind of? Because your passion doesn't always equate to what they want to hear. How do you make that connection for them? Or what's your method or your secret to connecting with them?
My secret is I only teach them how to use the camera.
Okay.
You can't teach you can't teach creativity. I can't tell you whether your picture is good or bad.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it could relatively be good or bad to me, but that's just my opinion. I can't tell you whether it's good or bad. I can tell you what you might need to improve on if you ask me certain questions.
I think that's really important because a lot of, and that's the difference between somebody being in what they're teaching versus somebody who just got hired to teach a class. And you know the difference, and students know the difference. Because you don't know what you're talking about. Like I've heard children say that to a teacher before. Because there is a difference. So learning the technique versus me telling you how to do what I do. And that's a big difference. Let's go pay some more bills. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com. Don't forget, Pearly. Go to Arena Players website. Get your tickets today. We'll be right back.
I'll be up in the way. 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 Running on my face. Gucci guilty on my face. I'll be up in the way. 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 Bedroom phone ring, girl in t-shirt answers me. I get off on the way that she answers me. First time saw her, I knew she was the one for me. Ever since then, we've been vibing on some chemistry. It's just a matter of time. I know she feeling my vibe. I got the keys to the ride. She put her hands on my thigh. She got that look in her eye. Let's tell what I'm riding. Royalty, call me highness. All day and overnighted. Cause it's crunch time when I'm grinding. This Adderall got me nauseous. Proceed with caution. Tired of lanes, I'm exhausted. Poppin' Zanny Zan, sipping out the faucet. I'm confused, don't know what I'm doing. Wait, what I'm doing? Got me going where the f I'm going. Out of space, where I'm going. Wait, where I'm going? Wait, where I'm going? Out of space, where I'm going. Out of space, where I'm going. I'll be up in the way. 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 Running on my face. Gucci guilty on my face. I'll be up in the way. 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 Can I talk to
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
We'll use all of those funny people, some of the serious people, the situations that be happening, show you all of that, but still give you a quality car that you'll be happy to look at.
But it's entertainment first, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
What other things have you written? Any other series or?
Yeah, I've written some short movies, and we just haven't shot a bunch yet. We've got underway of shooting some. I've been in some, but he just pushes me to shoot. I mean, not shoot, but write them.
Okay.
You know, so.
Well, I need a role, sir. So you gonna write me something? Sir?
I definitely can write you something.
I gotta pay Sally Mae, so I gotta get that.
We got something in the paid in full for you.
Okay. I'm curious because it was just I guess it was just a snippet of it. It wasn't really.
That was the shortest trailer. Yeah.
I'm loving how Baltimore is becoming this underground, non-traditional art space with the big Micah and all the other universities around kind of making it serious. But a lot of people who have never done it before are now getting the energy to kind of jump in there and just create, just from a raw state.
I ain't gonna lie, yo, Micah and Johns Hopkins really been like pivotal in my success on the literary side. Like Micah gave me a grant to buy the cameras. John Hopkins gave me all kinds of opportunities, speaking opportunities, exhibits and stuff. You know, so
it's growing.
Yeah, and their community activism piece. Yeah,
and it's helping a lot of us to really. A lot of the grants that are here are helping a lot of us to compete on that level because that's been the big gap. We didn't have necessarily enough resources for us to compete on that level and be able to, match up to what their students or our white counterparts already had as resources. So in terms of now getting into the business side of it, it's not just taking pictures and sending out an invoice. So now you got to create a grant proposal, and you got to create. With a nonprofit, you always have to show proof of what you've done. Where are you at with that?
I'm just getting started.
Does it seem overwhelming to you?
No, the hardest part was actually going down to the state building and filing paperwork. Yeah,
spending that cheese.
My board is so amazing. Everybody on my board, I've developed a relationship with over my career in photography. Different aspects in life.
So that's you creating a team.
Yeah.
So that's probably why it's not as overwhelming because these people are experts in what they do.
Experts in just what they do. Experts in not letting me slip up.
How did you learn to listen?
I mean, I've always listened. I've always been around older people. I've always been under the instruction of be seen and not heard. Growing up and just can't not being able to wait until I was old enough to feel like I could have a voice.
I never got from you that you felt like you knew more than anybody else. But one quality that I've seen, and especially in these last couple of years, when you're creating more and working with children, you let people be who they are, and that's not a common thing in a city like this, because everybody has their opinion, and because they've been pushed down for so long, they don't want to hear what anybody else has to say. Right. Is that something that you were aware of, or something that was a conscious decision for you? Or was it just who you are?
Yeah, I feel like it's important for people to understand that we're all individuals. And I didn't really understand what perspective was until I went to Patterson. And saw those different perspectives and how they were both right. And had I figured out what that was earlier in life, that may have, saved me from some altercations, some arguments, or anything. So yeah.
Is it in terms of the art side of what you do, are you now seeing yourself as more of an artist? Because I asked you that a long time ago, and you didn't see yourself necessarily as an artist, but are you seeing more of your artistry kind of solidify itself now?
Not really.
How, boy, you on book number 2?
Because like I don't know, like what I don't know, like if you consider me teaching people how to create not only art, but
storytelling,
confidence, a way to make money. You know, if you consider that art, then yeah, I'm an artist.
I mean, what would you consider an artist? Like when you look at people, what's an artist to you? Like, have you defined that, or do you just, is it that they went to school for something, or they paint or create something tangible? Like, what do you see as
I'm
an artist?
I'm my worst critic. Like, no matter how long it take me to edit something, I'm always going. If you notice, I don't post a lot of my work, and you know I'll do a lot of work, right? It's because I'm my worst critic. I don't think anything I do is worth me posting, you know. And if I do post something, it's because I do, you know what I mean? But it's not enough.
Right. I literally just came to that conclusion in terms of what I think of my own artistry. And Troy just beat me down throughout the process of directing this play that I'm in. And basically, and I've been posting it everywhere, he said, do something great for you. Like, you do, I've seen you in random weddings taking photos and various environments that I find myself in. And I'm like, okay, you here. And even with you teaching, I didn't think that was something you were doing. But you're finding yourself in these spaces and creating a space for yourself. And that is you. That's
and
your
others.
artistry. Right. That's your artistry. I remember the studio. Are you still in the studio?
Yeah, my studio is on Park Avenue now.
Okay, he's moved up to the west side a little bit. But I mean, you even in that, I watched this guy in your studio paint a mural, and you let that man just be who he was in that moment. And I was like, this man really just hiring people just to paint that wall for me, and you just let it be what it was supposed to be. You didn't critique them, you just stood there with your camera filming them. And that in and of itself, like, that's a curator to me. So that's a different type of art form all in and of itself. So when you're able to clearly define your artistry, I think the doors that you already see opening up, they're going to be knocked off the hinges.
Now, take everything you just said to me, right? And imagine if he was a photographer when I was in my student's age, right? He introduced them to photography. They go out and do something. You see that and tell them that. Tell me that. That's how it works. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how you throw that alley-oop. He throwing the alley-oop by teaching them how to do something, them doing it, not knowing if they're good at it or what.
Just exposing them.
Yeah, like, and then you come in and tell them exactly what you see in them, and now they like, he's right.
So as a theater teacher, I never teach from the perspective of training you how to be an actor. I always ask the child, one, what they want to be. And even if it's not their end goal in about 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, I connect that to the arts in some type of way. Arts is about just communication. And whatever form it is a form of communication, whether it's storytelling or painting a picture and trying to get you to sell it, it's always communication. And you just connecting those skill sets to who you are. You use a lot of sports references when you're talking. So that in and of itself will be easily connected to students. But when you're talking about arts, it's about how do you communicate? How do you talk? Being able to effectively communicate with your patient or your client, with your lawyer or a doctor. And just showing them that the arts is, it's STEAM. It's a part of life. It is not just this extra thing. And I run into a lot of artists like yourself here in Baltimore who became an artist in their adult life. So because they didn't study it, they didn't take tap dance as a child, they didn't go down to the arena players, or they didn't find art, you know, as a child, or they was that bad child in the room that wasn't really listening at that time. They didn't see themselves as an art, and you all don't see yourselves as artists, but you're doing, and I get mad at people like you because it's easier for you to connect with a child than it is for me. And I'm sitting up there like, come on, this is what it is. And you come in there with your little Chuck Taylors on, and you just take a couple pictures. You and Vashi do that to me. And I'm like, don't want to do this.
Vashi, what's up, Vashi?
Somebody to convince these two gentlemen to come in this classroom. And not to say it's not hard for you, but you have to write your artist statement. And somebody's probably said that to you because now you are a full-fledged business, but you have to write that artist statement, and that will define you as an artist.
Yeah.
Is that hard for you to just grasp that concept of not necessarily that you're an artist, but what's the disconnect for you?
The disconnect is that I don't remember what I did last week. You know what I mean? Like, after I do something, it's like, all right, bet what's next.
Mm-hmm.
You know, unless it's something that's ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't revel in victory that long.
But you got to take moments to just assess what has happened. Like, take those moments, because that'll help you grow. And there's some people that are just, you like, man, that man is really hitting all cylinders, because they're taking that time to kind of assess what's happening. Not necessarily what's working and what's not working, but you enjoying what is happening. Are you enjoying this life right now?
Of course, yeah. Like, I'm a very firm believer of, like, you have one life to live. Mm-hmm. And, like, time is most valuable to me right now. Mm-hmm. You know, because, you know, we're not getting any younger. Right. And you don't want to miss any of the important things in life, you know, family and, you know, family events and stuff like that.
How do you balance that?
Look at his schedule. So that's one of the reasons he's not reveling in victory, because he doesn't have time. He has to get up tomorrow and do something else. It's like,
but I'll be transparent. He fired me from my first artist job. I had it for about a week.
And look at this. Look at God.
I'm just saying. But I knew you always had a schedule like this. And you never even told me how you became a photographer. So coming into it that way, and just, at what point did you make that jump in terms of, I'm not working for somebody else again?
Yo.
I remember you saying
I got pushed. It wasn't even a jump. Mm-hmm. I got pushed. Remember when I was at Druid Heights, right?
Right.
For, you know, it wasn't any fault of anybody. It's just with nonprofits, you lose funding. Mm-hmm. And they actually created a position for me to work there. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the well ran dry. Right? And it just happened to be when I was in New York for a shoot. Mm-hmm. Right? And I was staying at my cousin's house, who is a full-time harpist. She makes her living off of playing and teaching the harp. Mm-hmm. She's younger than me. She's living in New York, which, you know, it costs more to live there. Mm-hmm. And I get this call from my exec, and he's basically like, you know, we gotta let you go. And he was cool. He was like, you know, collect your unemployment, you know, and find, you know, and he even said, he said, collect your unemployment and go hard on your photography. He said that, right? But you know, you ain't trying to hear that really when that's happening, right? And I was.
But look where you were. What if you were at home, chilling, watching cable when you got that call?
Exactly.
You would have been devastated.
I would have been. And I was for like 30 minutes. 30 minutes. I was like cold, depressed, right? But then I internalized.
Trying to make sure you got enough to get home. And
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, I just got the studio. I had an Audi A8. I'm thinking like, yo, what am I going to do? I don't have any more income other than doing, like, I wasn't doing the volume that I'm doing now in photography. But I thought about it like this. I said, one of them got to go. Got rid of the Audi. Kept the studio. The studio going to make you money, right? But in that moment, what got me out of that 30-minute depression, I thought about my cousin doing it. And she's doing it really and has a higher expense than me.
Right.
And she's younger than me. I'm like, well, if she can do it, I can do it. And I use that as motivation. And I ain't looked back since.
And that's a lot of us. I don't know how many bosses and supervisors they have literally said, collect your unemployment.
Yeah.
This ain't for you.
Because it wasn't, I didn't burn any bridges.
Right.
You know, he felt bad for having to do it. You know, but, you know, the reality sets in really quick. Like, all right, I got bills to pay, and now I don't know how I'm going to do it. But then you had to really step back and assess the situation and internalize it the best way you can.
But this, and I always look at, because that last time I was fired from a regular job, I had invested in a company. I had took a week off and invested, and somebody kept saying, but look what you're doing right now. You just registered your first business. And if you wasn't in New York, it probably would have been ugly because you would have been like, man, I got to find me a job. But you realized you were in your career in that moment.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. I'm just trying to make them cry today. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Whatever happened to the times when we cared for one another? We shared the same respect. What is happening? We're trading what's important for shiny things. I can't allow this blasphemy. It's blasphemy. Why would you treat yourself like that? We didn't come this far just to fall right back. I'm from. Don't lose yourself, stay on track. Baby, you're a god. You're a god. Baby, you're a god. Believe that. Full of the things that we've overcome. Full of unspoken battles we've won. You're so much better than that. Sometimes the truth ain't always catchy as rap. Stop chasing cheese or you get stuck in a trap. Go get your crown and never render it back. No, it's blasphemy. Why would you treat yourself like that? Stop all that blasphemy. We didn't come this far just to fall right back. Baby, you're a god. You're a god. You're a god. You're a god. Baby, you're a god. You're a god. Baby, you're a god. Believe that. You're way too gifted to stop and listen. It's condescending, not to mention all of our ignorance. Is there permission to? I know you like to turn up like that. With a drink to pull up like that. Well, baby, there ain't nothing wrong with that. Just make sure the God in you stays where it's at. You're the rising sun of a new day begun. Grind on till victory's won. I pray you do your thing till earth and heaven ring. Just don't forget where you come from.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Our YouTube channel. Please subscribe.
And give us your information, sir.
I'm Nice Shot Kyle. And you know what's crazy? I literally just got my page back. Did you know that I lost my page?
I did. I know you had a couple of them, but I didn't know you lost
So my main page, right before Christmas, got disabled.
How?
I don't know. But I just got it back probably like 4 or 5 days ago.
Yeah.
And life has been so much better since.
I thought you was just on the grind, sir. You was on the grind.
No, I was on the grind, trying not to fuck. Like you don't know.
Not the same grind.
You do not know how much you rely on social media.
I remember having to, like, right before Facebook, and it wasn't as, I mean, the other sites, Black Planet, it wasn't as, like, you were on it, but it wasn't like an all-day thing.
Yeah.
But I realized how much your business is invested in a Facebook or Instagram or Twitter now.
Yeah.
That wasn't, I don't know what we would do if it would just shut down.
It happened to me. What are you talking about? That's what I'm talking about.
So
That's what this conversation is about. It happened.
So what did you do?
I started from scratch.
Said it looked stupid.
I'm telling you, I literally felt like I just picked up a camera for the first time. Every single, I like, even if you search my hashtags, it was like I didn't exist. Like, Nice Shot Kyle never existed.
And part of me is not understanding how that happened, because, like, right now, I can say full disclosure, like, my personal page is in jail until April. And I'm like, what do I do? What do I don't even use profanity. So what am I,
But they told you how long you got?
Yeah, if you go to the inbox, it'll tell you when it's going to be released.
You better text them like, "Hey, big head, how you been?" You know, hey, I mean, just saying good morning. You know, just don't forget
You told me to do that. I definitely did it. I definitely did.
That's how you get your Instagram back. You better hit them.
No, it's the Facebook, not the Instagram, but
your Facebook, his Instagram.
Oh, your Instagram.
My
that was
Instagram.
like,
yes.
That was like, I'm sorry. Because to a photographer, Instagram is like.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
I was waiting for him to
No, I thought you meant Facebook.
I knew he didn't understand the severity of what I was saying.
No, I thought it was Facebook.
No,
you're not really on Facebook.
They deleted one. They deleted everything attached to that. I had a Z page for the cars that we got. That got deleted. Nice shot, Kyle. I have almost 15,000 followers on there. That got deleted, and Facebook got deleted. I still ain't
drinking, sir. Is that where the gray hair coming from?
Man, I was stressed out. I'm telling you, I started a page from zero. And like a lot of people was like, you know, what happened to your page? And they was reposting, following. So I had a lot of support. I got back up to like 1,500.
All the pages start from zero. It starts from zero.
Yeah,
everybody start from zero.
Everybody start from zero, but if you got another page that got some followers, you can just change the name.
Yeah.
I didn't do that. I started from
the bottom.
So when the page just became undisabled.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now it's like I never left.
It's got to be something that we can do to get us unaddicted from. And I don't even think it's a leisure thing for a lot of us. I think it's really our business and what we want to be is connected to these pages. So if they just drop, I can imagine.
I feel like websites have become obsolete. I mean, not all websites, but for photographers, because if you could just go to Instagram and see a body of work,
right?
What do you need a website?
Well,
for?
I tell a lot of because people try to sell me on the idea of an app, and I'm saying that it doesn't make sense. Like if you already have a website, that's cool, but an app is. People not into that. They want to see something. I got to type in something. I want to just go to it, and it's there.
Yeah.
And I think that's the crap that social media has over us.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a lot with it. Like you can reach a multitude of people. You can just post stuff, and you know what I mean. It's just it's perfect. Yeah. It's perfect, and that's why they're thriving right now.
Yeah.
You know,
buy stock. Get your stock together.
I was just when I talking to you about that, like how when Facebook hit the market, and it was probably like $5 or $15 a share. Now it's like
because it was just a college thing. Like you literally had to have a college email address.
Yep. But now it's worth a lot of money right now.
So in terms of working together, how did this part? I know you were Klein and Barber, but how did this, in terms of working together, where did that come from? Or when did that solidify itself?
I mean, he always having a harebrained scheme. You know what I'm saying? He got a lot of harebrained schemes. No pun intended.
No pun intended.
You'll see on the show that he'll say that and then he'll like the idea down the road.
So the two of you are in the show as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We the main characters.
Okay.
We the main characters, but you know, like he said, we're gonna like really introduce a lot of different characters as the show progresses.
Okay. Yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Is there any other projects that may be coming up? Or I know the book, but you have any other projects coming up?
No, right now we're just working on this. I'm continuing to write, and so it should be some stuff in the future that, you know, maybe he'll shoot. Hopefully he'll shoot if that calendar lightens up a little bit.
He just put him on
and we can be great so that I can be great, the greatness that I am.
Okay, I see. I feel it.
Definitely.
He's going to cut this portion out and just save it for himself. Because he didn't answer. I noticed that too. So
a lot of people watching. a lot of witnesses.
So as a witnesses, I still haven't got my photo shoot. I'm just saying. I did work a week. I did. But we're going to go back to...
You're going to have to fire me too, because if he got all of this, you should see this. We are...
Right.
They are doing very well.
No, I got him though, whenever he's ready. You know what I'm saying?
I was like 24 when he said that. And
I'm still here.
I'm 40 now.
As long as I owe him a shoot,
I'll never forget him. It took me 7 years to get him to sit down. But it's cool. In terms of networking... How does that come out? Because normally people meet you when they're at an event and they find you. But how has the networking? Because having a nonprofit is a whole nother animal.
It is, and I didn't realize that until I started this. And like, you know, I've done countless like nonprofit events, like photography wise, but like it's really different because you need to know what's out here in terms of like
and
helping.
What people do and how they can help
because you want to collaborate. You know, like I feel like collaboration is really important, and Baltimore lacks that. Like Baltimore is just so used to competing. You know, like
doing it by myself.
And you know, healthy competition is good. You know,
but it's not healthy though. It hasn't been healthy.
It hasn't. It hasn't, and it's because people aren't where they think they should be. You know, if you don't feel like you're getting the recognition that you deserve, you're always gonna have a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, and it's just the idea of staying in your lane. Do what it is that you do. At one point, it was a photographer, a church, a liquor store on every corner. Like everybody can't be a photographer because this person made a way of doing it. And I'm not saying don't do what you always wanted to do, but why? What's your why? Is it because you see Pompey popping now, and that's why you want to be a photographer, or is it just really in you?
Yeah.
Like nobody can just pick up a camera and be that, or everybody is an actor, or everybody has their own radio show, and it's just do what it is that you're here to do. And if you can't find that, keep exploring, keep trying things, but don't. I've seen people go out and spend G's on film equipment, and I ain't seen one movie.
They end up selling it to me for half.
If you got a lot of equipment, I'll write you a movie.
Oh, okay, that's what's up. So what are some of the things now that you are looking? What's down the line for you, Mr. Pompey?
I wanna
book number 2.
Yeah, definitely book number 2. I just want to see this nonprofit be what I envision it to be. You know, so I do want to like really like focus on that. But I also do want to write a movie and direct a movie. So all his harebrained schemes may come to fruition.
So we're gonna take another quick break. I believe we got 2 more. So we got 2 more breaks. We're gonna take this break, pay some bills. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Check out this flashback from the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
That's the biggest thing, is just empowerment. Just get off of the begging line. Just be proud and just get our pride and our dignity back, because as a child, we're taught how to go and beg for a job. Our parents, they literally taught us how to make sure you pull your pants up. Me, I'm 6'7", so I'm a bigger man. I was always taught how to not be threatening or intimidate people when I go into different interviews or different scenarios. And so we're literally taught how to condition ourselves, condition our speech, everything in order to go and beg these people for a job, because we know when we walk in the door, I have to tear down 10 stereotypes before I get past hello. So we need to eliminate that. And we need to eliminate that, and the way that we do that is employing ourselves and employing our brothers and sisters. And so that's our mission, is group economics, uplift ourselves, because I can't empower anyone until I empower myself, and change from just being willing, because it's in my heart and my passion to see my people succeed and see us do better and change the social order, because I know that we are not supposed to be on bottom. I understand who I was. I know I didn't fall out of the sky and land on a plantation. So when you have knowledge of self and you know who you are and what you come from, it's frustrating more than anything to see us in this position.
Tune into the Artist Exchange every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Live. Be Exposed Radio.
Long live Pop. Y'all can go ahead and cry now. I'm gonna show these niggas what to do with one of your beats, man. I am Gas, by the way. Strong woman story should have been on CNN. Nobody knows what it's like being Gwen. Windows closed in the house, it ain't no CNN. can't gain weight for years, she been being thin. Single mother, no help from the system. When they was giving out food stamps, she missed them. Birth certificate, baby daddy, she couldn't list them. But her son was so beautiful when she kissed him. Blame it on love, but nigga she could've died with. Destroyed the whole world and found out she was a side chick. The nigga loved his wife and it got hard to hide it. So when Gwen confronted him, he ain't even denied it. Her fault, depends on who you asking. She tried to be a stripper, but the tip out was taxing. Buying all the purses, trying to keep up with the fashion. And her mama hated baby sitting with a passion.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show. This topic for this segment, we're talking about money. How to get to the money of the matter. The invoices paid in full. Sir, how do you get your money?
Taking pictures.
So in terms of this, the organization of it, the steady income, because most of your work is by, this person telling this person, but how do you keep that going now?
All right, and it's a formula that I have, right?
Okay.
It consists of 3 things, and you need all 3. You need all 3.
All 3,
right? It's like you said, right? You need CPS, not Child Protective Service.
Okay. No whammies.
No, it's consistency, personality, and skill. Right? If you have all 3 of those things, you will never fail at what you're doing.
So when did you discover those 3 traits in yourself, sir?
I don't even know, but it was recently, like within like once I started teaching. Like once I started teaching adults, that's when I started realizing it, because it would be people who would come to my classes and I'll think to myself like, I don't know if they're gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? And it's people that I know that are photographers that just don't have one of those things. And they are probably the best photographers that I know. But they lack one of those things.
Right. So what's the 3 again?
Is consistency,
okay,
personality, and skill.
And in terms of the consistency, can you explain that one a little bit more?
Yeah, so to start, you have to know how to do something, right? So photography is my skill, right?
Okay.
I know the skill of photography. In order to get better at it, you have to consistently do something. Right? By repetition, that's the best way to learn something, right? By doing it repetitiously. That's where the consistency comes in. Not only are you learning by doing it repetitiously, you're showing people that you're not going to flake. You're showing people that you're serious about it. And you're showing people that they don't have to worry about you when they having an event. And they got 1,000 other things to worry about, right? Then personality. What's going to set you apart from, if me and him are photographers, we both learn from the same person. We have the same skill set. We both do it as much as people ask us to do it, right? But what's gonna be the thing to differentiate us? Our personality.
Right.
Who do you want to be a part of your situation? You know, and I feel like that's the most important part of the formula.
Right. Now until we actually had a conversation about how you learn photography, I was always the person who was like, you need to go to school for this, you need to, because that's how I learned. Well, not necessarily learn, but that's how I sharpen my tool in terms of being an actor and a visual artist. But you just took it a step beyond. You still went to YouTube University.
Yeah, you remember that?
Right. You went to YouTube University, but your consistency in applying what you learn, not just learning the technique and just doing that one thing, or that being your trick, but you actually studied, like you went as if you were going to school.
Yeah.
And I remember that conversation because I was totally against it, because a lot of people didn't necessarily, I saw a lot of people trying to do what you were doing, but they just wasn't learning the same way. And that can't be everybody's vehicle.
Right.
So tell us how that learning curve happened for you, because you didn't go to a traditional school setting and learn it.
Yeah, like, I mean, literally the first event that I was telling you about before, right? it was lit just like it is in here. The first picture I took came out pitch black. Right? And just imagine just seeing a bunch of numbers you don't even know what they mean. I called the dude I bought
So
it
you
from.
went into the events just with a camera?
Yeah, and that's what I told him I was gonna do. I told him 100 times that I didn't want to do this party. I'm like, I don't know how to use this camera. She's like, I don't care, just come.
I need a photographer.
Right. But I didn't understand the pressure that it was gonna be when somebody say, can you take my picture? And you like, they in their best pose, and you like, and you look and it's black. And they waiting to see it. You like,
So how did you get through that?
I mean, eventually I just messed around with the buttons enough to make it look decent. And then so crazy. As soon as that happened, my confidence went through the roof. And then my personality could then come out. Like, your personality is gonna be hard for it to come out if you're too worried about how to do something. Because you're too focused on that. Right. But if you know how to do something, then now your personality can come out, because just like any basketball player who's super nice, they gonna make the jumper and then they gonna do something slick afterwards. But if they ain't used to making that shot, they gonna just be real excited, like you know what I mean? Like they nice at it, you know what I mean? So like they not thinking about it too much.
But you learn how to use the actual camera, because you don't over edit your photos.
I try not to edit at all.
But I'm learning that from you. But a lot of people, they was like, well, I'm just gonna learn the editing, and then I'm gonna just take crappy pictures and fix them later. And then they spending 3 months trying to fix these photos. Yeah. And then I'm mad, I want my money back because you just took 3 months.
Ironically, that happened to me before though. Like I wasn't always good, so like pictures that I would take might have came out crappy, and I had to spend that extra time. So that is what made me say you need to learn how to take them where they look good straight out the camera, and then that's when you have to start studying and practicing and all of that, you know. So it's, you know, every action has a reaction. The action of me taking a crappy photo and having to pay somebody else to edit it made me want to be a better photographer.
So you taking these photos, you working with children, you getting your feet wet, and now you're Kyle Pompey, the founder of Nice Shot After School Extraordinary Program. What is it like now sitting in these board meetings and sitting in front of these people who you want to give you this money for these things, or what is it now? So all that aside, now you're Kyle Pompey sitting in these meetings talking business and numbers and projections and what you could possibly do with their money.
I'm always this person, right? You know what I mean? No matter who I'm around, I know millionaires all the way down to homeless people. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna be Kyle. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that I'm fortunate enough to have like been around a lot of different people growing up too. So, you know, that's where that comfort comes from. But what I find most interesting is that it's people out here that care about a dream that I had. You know what I mean? Like, everybody on my board is doing it out of their heart. You know, and they're like vested enough to have conversation in front of me like I'm not there. You know what I'm saying? And that speaks volumes. And it makes me, it just reassures me that the work that I'm doing is making an impact.
So that, because I was wondering what that felt like because being a board member, unless the company is making billions right off the break, most people don't really want to invest in unless they believe in the person. Not even the idea necessarily, but the person being able to fulfill that dream. What is it like knowing that they actually believe in you versus just they're not just doing this out of the pop culture of Baltimore?
It makes me feel good. Like, it relieves a lot of the pressure off of my shoulders, and they allow me to do the work. And you know, and they handle everything that they know causes me to be anxious. like
so you literally just laid the level down. This is what makes me anxious.
No, and that's the thing. They all know me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Okay. Like I've met and developed relationships. Like two of them work for MeQ, high up in MeQ.
Okay.
My best friend is my assistant. Rebecca Burr, who basically I met just through a mutual friend. She ended up writing a grant for me and got me the grant at Micah. And you know, she's just been very instrumental in like getting me funding and different opportunities. So it's just like I just like handpick people who showed a genuine interest out the kindness of their hearts from the jump to be a part of something that I feel like can be major and all of us can make an impact.
Now, a lot of people specifically, and I don't like harping on Baltimore, but this is the culture that we live in. A lot of people speak about not getting the support that they need. Speak on what it took for you to get the support that you needed. Like, what were your attributes that you feel like lent itself to you being able to get the support that you needed?
The personality piece. Like, I legit try to make myself a better person every day.
Okay.
You know, whether it mean like facing certain things that I don't want to face about myself, whether it is taking other people's feelings into consideration or, you know, just being vulnerable. You know, I just feel like that's the most important thing. You know what I mean? That the personality factor.
Is that what we'll be reading in that book?
I'm gonna be very vulnerable in that book. There's a lot of situations.
Now explain to me, what's vulnerable for Kyle? Like
vulnerable is just like, just if I'm talking about a situation, I'm not second guessing me saying something.
Okay.
You know, I'm just going to talk about the situation. You know, like if you got to second guess something that you're saying, you don't feel comfortable or confident in what it is.
How long did it, being a Baltimorean, how long did it take you to get to that point of allowing yourself to be vulnerable?
Until like last year or year before last. Because we live in a hard city. It's hard to show any type of weakness. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like a lot of times, you can't do that until you know yourself completely. And like it's super comfortable within yourself.
Right.
You know, and like me working with all girls at Lily Mae, it's like I see so much greatness in them, but because they so young and their minds haven't developed yet, they don't understand how great they are and that nobody else can affect. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I tell them all the time, like nobody should be able to change your vibe. You know what I mean? And they just can't grasp that, and it's not their fault. It's not their fault, but I'm gonna keep on beating it in their heads, like, you know. I just try not to let anything affect, you know, my future.
What are some of the things that are going on now that's catching your attention in terms of, I know you're a big basketball fan, so Kobe or his life, or are there any things right now that are in terms of news or this life in general that's catching your attention?
Yeah, I mean, you can't overlook the Kobe tragedy because, like, you wouldn't expect somebody like that to die. Like, no, in any kind of way. You know what I'm saying? Like, in any kind of way. And for him to die so abruptly, it's really like a check. Like, you know, it can happen to anybody. He was a quadrimillionaire. You know what I mean? Like, if that can happen to him, then we don't have a chance. So we gotta live accordingly. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of relationships that I felt like weren't strong, and I reached out to try to make them stronger because of that.
Because of that.
Yeah.
Is that part of this new energy that you have and going into different places? Because I never heard you say you wanted to be an author until I saw you working with the children, and then the book came out, and I'm like, this man, he really is stretching outside of that comfort zone.
Yeah, I don't plan a lot. Like, a lot of the opportunities that have come my way have like organically happened, and I literally only do what comes to my mind. Like, one of my students wanted to intern with me over the summer. I felt like she was too young to really go with me a lot of places that I was going, so I said I'll figure out something to do.
Okay.
And that's why I decided to do the summer camp. So she inspired that just by wanting to intern with me over the summer. Had she not asked me about interning, I may not have done the summer camp. You know, so like that's how my world goes. Like if I see interest and I feel like I could do something, I'll do it. And then people see that. Like I have a little following, so people see me doing the work, and you know, heartstrings are pulled, and they see that I'm really passionate about it, and I'm doing it out of the, you know, my pocket. I'm not like asking anybody for money. And people see this. Like I got people who will just send me $200 out of nowhere. You know, just because they want me to continue to do what I'm doing, and I'm not doing it for the money. I'm doing it because I've made money. I've been recognized for things that I've done. I've done a lot of work, you know, and now my joy comes from passing it forward and seeing what they can do with it. Like I got people that I got into photography that are doing amazing things right now, and it's like I get to live in their lens. You know what I mean? Like and really be able to say like I had a hand in that.
Now with Baltimore being, and most people don't realize, Baltimore in the United States is one of the biggest population of nonprofits. So a lot of people come here to start nonprofits because we have so many of them. What will set your organization apart from every other organization in the city in terms of it being an art-driven, community-based youth program?
That I'm gonna pour a lot of me into it. Like I feel like I have a vast insight of not just the world, but just like of people. You know what I mean? Like I can connect with people really well, and I feel like I've been through so much and can connect with the demographic of people that I'm going to work with, that, you know, it's going to be a really unique program.
And part of my plea, and I speak to a lot of nonprofits that come on the show, with ones that I work with, and I always ask the leadership, don't lose that mission. Because the more money something brings in, the more, you know, levels you go to in terms of meeting Oprah and Obama, people become more and more distant from the actual day-to-day and the actual mission that they started off with.
Right.
So I beg you not to, and I don't see that happening, but I always try to encourage people to just stay close to that mission. And I know new levels bring new responsibilities, and sometimes it's an idea of I can't always be there, so I'm hiring these people. So even the people that you hire, be very clear that they have your mission as the priority, and they share in your mission often, because people come to your organization with their creativity. But I just see so many organizations, especially art and youth programs, that become about the bottom line. And your initial was to fill a void, and now that void is so far off your eyesight that it's not even connecting anymore.
I don't think that I'll be taken off track just because, like, it's about giving them a tool to take on, you know, and that's the mission. I'm always going to, I feel like as long as they want to learn, I'm going to teach it. And then I'm never going to tell them what to do with it. So they're going to use it however they see fit. You know, I'm going to always be here for them as a resource as well, which is very, very important. Because it was countless questions that I had nobody to ask that you can't find on YouTube. You can't get specific answers on YouTube like that. Like, I don't like sometimes you need instant gratification. You can't just type in a question in the comments and wait
get a million different
right, you know what I'm saying? It's too much back and forth and too much time between. Like, you need somebody tangible that you trust and see doing the same thing to ask these questions. And I get that all day in my DMs or in my text messages. So like, just being able to be a support system, you know, I think they're gonna hold me accountable too much for me to even think about coming off of that mission.
When I start seeing you in Slippery Arrows during the week, I'll be like, what's going on, sir?
He that type.
Right.
No socks.
No
with slightly high water.
No more fives, just firm handshakes.
Right, sir. Get it together, sir. Get it together. So we're going to take our last break. We'll be right back with these two gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm on it.
Like the one thing you always gotta remember is people gonna try to project their insecurities onto you. But you can't listen to what them niggas saying. You gotta get out here and do your shit regardless. You gonna do what you love for the rest of your life anyway. So why not turn that shit into something? Be a man of everything you say. This shit bigger than me, man. Like yeah, I'm good and all that, but you know what I mean? I ain't shit without y'all. What you up to, just go hard. Don't matter. Can you imagine how I really having nothing is? Stomach growling, you ain't got no food in the fridge. Surviving on a jail diet of water and bread. No father figure, that's cause my father did. Mom bringing different niggas in and out the crib. No money, so you seen it's less than all your friends. But it a joke because your mother was a crackhead. Older sister hoeing off, giving all her homies head. I could wait for your response, but they let her hear me talk, so I just wait for the applause. I always knew that I was great, I got them haters so appalled. I'ma make it out the darkness, and my word is my bond. Delivering these bars while I'm gripping on my balls. Jealous niggas hate to see you succeed, so fuck them all. I'm the master of my destiny, nigga, you not in charge. You either on your grind or in the way.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Consistent. See, I gotta learn. I'm learning now to network more, cause I'm a person that get the job done, go out the back door, and miss all the hellos and goodbyes. So now I'm going to events and saying hello to people and reconnecting and sending out 100th message to Kyle Pompey. But I'm just learning how, cause that's not. I know how to get the job done.
Yeah.
That whole hey, how you doing? What's going on? That's for the people who do that. But now I'm learning how to do that because I've had a lot of my ideas taken because that person had the personality. So they went on and did it.
Yeah.
And they failed because it was really my idea.
Right.
But they got it done and they got their foot in the door. And I'm like, why the hell you gonna take mine and do it? But I didn't jump out there with it. So
if a pie chart, if I had a pie chart.
And we back on, so go ahead.
If I had a pie chart to show how much I advertise or promote, like book me, it would be like the smallest slither. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like most of my business comes from word of mouth.
Right.
You know, like you do a good job at something. People don't want to, especially in the service industry, like you in the service industry, right? I won't go to another barber because I'm so comfortable with him. Like, why would I go anywhere else? I don't have to think about it. Yo, can I come at this time? Yeah, bet.
Right.
I'm fresh in however many hours it takes. You know what I mean? If you're in the service area and you do a good job and you have CPS, people are going to refer you and people are going to believe them because they're not going to ask somebody that they don't believe.
Right.
You know, that's the best way of advertising, just to have CPS.
And I remember when we were talking a number of years ago, I kept trying to get you to like, so what is your business? And he was like, well, people just call me. And I'm like, well, how do you organize that? Like, where does it, people just call me. And I was like, but where are they coming from? Yeah. And you, at the time, you didn't, it was just word of mouth. And I didn't get that. It's just that I've always been in the service industry, but I'm used to being a supervisor that's stay in the back. And then the actual like people that's the face of it get the job done. So when I started my own business and started being in more leadership roles, I just hired people who did the talking. And then at some point, those people weren't trustworthy. They wasn't consistent. So I had to then step up. And then it was like, for my jewelry, I'll be sitting at the table at a big convention and somebody will come up and they want to haggle. And I'm looking through them. And when they finish talking, so do you want to buy it? So it's no like personality in it. And that's the part that I think that I've been trying to learn in the last couple of years. Because stuff like this takes you going out and people seeing you at their events and being able to trade off those types of things. That's social capital.
And I'm going to tell you, one of the biggest, I'm going to say, things that helped me was being in the party scene early enough to be like totally ignorant about a lot of things. And photography wise, but in it long enough for people to associate me with photography. So by the time I was like drained from doing that and just felt like I needed to do something else. People were confident in me to do what that something else was.
Right.
You know, and just being consistent throughout that and keep being me. You know, that's where the success.
I learned parts of that. I used to work on Spirit Cruise now, and I've learned like you're supposed to take the standard boat buoy picture, but I realized people wanted the candid shots, and I would make more money selling the candid shots from my own personal use than taking that standard photo. And it was just giving people what they want. That's basically what it is without losing who you are. So I'm not going to sell myself short, but I'm going to give you what you want. You want to experience in this moment. So let me deliver on that experience versus trying to give you this stock, you know.
Yeah, because no matter what was going on prior to you telling somebody to pose may not show. You can mask that. If you take a candid photo, you're showing exactly how they felt in that moment because they don't even know the picture. That's why I love candids of me because I like to see. Everybody wants to see who they are when they don't think anybody's looking. You know what I mean? When you just being yourself, you're not thinking about it. That's when you can really see who you are.
So as we close out, I'm gonna ask you 3 more questions. One, can you both give me your social media and how we can get the information for Paid in Full Garage?
Well, it's Paid in Full Garage Show is the YouTube. So go there and subscribe.
Click the bell.
And then we have the Paid in Full Garage Show Instagram, which you can also subscribe to. And you'll see when the episodes are coming out. We'll be dropping the trailer probably Monday. So we'll be all over doing a bunch of podcasts, interviews, and stuff like this. Definitely.
And right in my one-man show. That's what he'll be doing.
One-man show. Come to
Mr. Pompey.
Yeah. And all of that. And my Instagram is Nice Shot Kyle.
Okay. Across all boards.
Yep. Twitter and Kyle Pompey on Facebook.
So the second to the last question is, explain to us CPS.
All right. CPS is consistency, personality, and skill. And you have to have a skill in order for somebody to even know that you exist as far as whatever service or whatever it is that you're doing. You have to consistently do that skill in order to get better and to show people that you're serious and that you're reliable. And then on top of all of that, which I really feel like is the most important, you have to be personable because you have to be somebody wants to be a part of whatever it is that they're doing.
That builds that integrity and that trust.
Yes.
My last question, and I'll start with you, sir. What advice would you give to your 17-year-old self, and what question would you ask to your 100-year-old self?
My 17-year-old self, I would probably say, step on the gas, be more consistent. I probably was consistent at certain things, but be consistent at your second passion in life. Because once I realized that I had cutting hair down, I could get a shop because I got one really early in life. It was like, all right, so what are you going to do from here? I did music and stuff, and like this part of life right now is a little bit different. Now, the 100-year-old, what I would want to know is like my grandkids and what did they do? How did I affect their life? If I'm not there to actually see it and I'm looking from above, I want to see if there's any qualities that I left in them that I can still see to that day.
Okay. Question, advice to your 17-year-old self, questions to your 100-year-old self.
Advice for my 17-year-old self, and I just recently spoke to some students at Ben Franklin, and part of what I was speaking about was them slowing down and really like caring about the future and not being so invested in right now. So I would tell myself to slow down and like learn about your history and to think about what I could do to affect the future. And my 100 years, I would ask myself if I would do it all over again.
The number one answer to that has always been, was it worth it?
Yeah.
When I ask everybody, was it really worth it?
Yeah. Up until right now, I feel like it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about you? Same question.
Thank you, sir. For me, 17 marks the time when that veil is being lifted. And for me, do something great for you. I was raised by cancer, and that's about giving and always giving a part of yourself. So I want to be a giver, but you have to make sure your cup is full, and everything that runs over, that's what you can give out. To my 100-year-old self, for me, was it worth it? Was everything that you went through, everything that you did, was it worth it? And this has been another edition of the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Tune in next week. We'll have Miss Pat Johnson and a few of her young authors come join us. We'll be talking to them about their new books and being young authors at a very young age. So thank you, gentlemen, for coming by. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I'm ready for that role, sir.
Gotcha.
And my photo shoot. So again, come Friday, Pearly, Arena Playhouse. You missed Melba Moore this weekend. She was phenomenal, had some really good gems. Get your tickets. Don't forget, Saturday night, the 22nd, is the Artist Exchange Radio Show night. So I want to pack the house with all of our listeners, all of our followers, and all of our supporters. So come on out to the Arena Players and see me do my thing. Again, peace out. The next show up is Living a Rich Life, and that's on Wednesday at 5 p.m. Peace out. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.